going to take the North and never give it back.
So that's a good pick. You get the corner. I got to go bold, right? I got to go bold for this.
Yeah, she's got some nice
Welcome back to the Unbearable Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Brad Barron. Make sure to like and subscribe out there on YouTube and also rate the show 5 stars everywhere that you get your podcast. Today, we are going to be breaking down the Bears versus the Cincinnati Bengals over this weekend. So players to watch out for, and also talk a little bit about will the starters actually play. So I'm recording this on Wednesday morning, so there might be more information about who's actually going to play and who's not going to play. But I still feel like my guess in the future is that they probably won't say anything until after Thursday practice, because Thursday's the big day. Because we know already, right, when we talk about will the starters play, something that we know about Matt Eberflus is that he wants to see that, hey, did we have a good week of practice? When we go against the Bengals during practice, does that feel like live game reps? Is that enough to say that, hey, you know what, you got enough live game reps, and because of that, you don't have to play next game? Because we saw this happen last year. Now, my overall take on this, not even just me thinking about it from a fan perspective, because obviously I want to see the starters play. We all want to see the starters play. But I do think it's still important for Caleb to get those live game reps. So no matter what, I would like to see him out there. Now, should the wide receivers be out there is another question, right? You might not need to have Keenan Allen out there or DJ Moore out there like you had before. But getting Caleb ready with more of these backups, it's going to make it more difficult because you're not going to have your 2 number 1 wide receivers out there. I'd still have Rome Odunze play. But yeah, let's throw out Tyler Scott. Let's throw out Velus Jones. And yeah, you could probably still, maybe you can keep Cole Kmet out there and Gerald Everett out there. But yeah, your main wide receiver, your stud wide receivers, yeah, I feel you can take them out. But also, too, on Thursday, it's supposed to be raining like crazy. So I think, too, you don't want to go too overboard in the middle of the rain. Obviously, they'll probably kind of bring it inside, but you're talking about artificial turf, something that also can cause a lot more injuries. I would rather have a soft practice and then actually play during the game than go hard on artificial turf. So that's just my take on it. So I, if anything, would rather have them play. Also, see how Caleb preps for the game. Like we saw on Hard Knocks. You kind of heard that, hey, what's different about this? Why is he kind of turning it up? Well, because he's going to play. I would rather have him play because then you know, all right, how do you prepare for the game? How do you focus on that game? But yeah, all speculation, all rumors are that they're not actually going to play. But hey, if they do, we'll have you covered and we'll break down who to watch for. So let's talk about if they end up playing the starters, who are some of the people that you should watch out for? So if we go over to the list, let me just show this real quick. So if we go over to it, I have the starters highlighted in green, and then the blue, those are more of the backups, just in case if they end up playing the backups first before the starters. But let's first go through the starters, because obviously the players to watch. For me, my first one is number 71 on the offensive line, Ryan Bates, because we have not seen him with live reps. He has been banged up a little bit, but I want to just see where they put him. So if he does end up playing, where does 71 go? There's a good chance that they're not going to put him out there, but I just want to see, look for 71 on the offensive line, because otherwise I still feel even more convinced Coleman Shelton's going to be the starter at center. So to me, Shelton should be the starting center, and then Bates, is he actually out there? And speaking to people that are they going to be out there, Nate Davis, 64. I think it'd be great for him to get some actual reps out there, even though that he's not a big practicer. He should be still out there and still be playing and still participating and out there. So to me, is Nate Davis even out there? So my first 2 people to watch might not even play. Even if the starters are out there, they might not play, but I just want to see what they look like. Then the other ones, like I said, I still think that Rome Odunze should get reps. I think that he needs to be going against people that aren't on the Bears. And yes, the Bears have a very good secondary. But if anyone has played pickup games with, like, pickup basketball, pickup football, like with your friends, with your buddies, They know your moves. If you play against your friends enough, they know how exactly you play. They know all your moves. To me, Rome Odunze, I think it's great if he goes against other people and sees how people treat him and how they respond to him when he's going against them. So I like the idea. Throw Rome Odunze out there just to get him some live reps. And last but not least, obviously, watch number 18, Caleb Williams. I want him out there. I think he should be out there. And yes, he looked good last game, but he needs to continue this, right? Does he have continued operation in the huddle? And that's my big piece. I don't think you shouldn't have him out there. I think he needs to be out there and just keep on harping, right? What have we won so far? What have we gotten so far? We need him to get his reps and get adjusted to the NFL. So that's my take when it comes down to it from the offensive standpoint. But let's go over to the defensive side, where from a starting perspective, I have three people that I'm really focused on. And the three people that I'm looking out for, the only starter that I'm really keeping an eye out for is Gervon Dexter. Number 99, I think we all are. We want to see, he looked good last game. And yet again, I'll say this, I thought that I've listened to some people that were really, really hard on Gervon. Yes, he didn't come away with a sack, but I looked at the PFF numbers of his pass rush win rate. It was still like 18% win rate. That's phenomenal. He still did well. And you watch the tape, he still played well. He didn't come away with a sack on his 10 reps that he got. So to me, I want to see more Gervon Dexter out there. But then also, if he's not out there, the bubble guys, the bubble defensive players like Dominique Robinson and Jacob Martin. Martin, we have not seen actual game reps for yet from a Bears perspective. Is he going to be out there? My guess is not, but just look for number 55 at the defensive end spot. Then the other player, Dominique Robinson, number 90. Hopefully he gets a lot more reps out there because, yet again, he's fighting for his job. He's fighting for a spot on this team. Dominique Robinson, big person to watch out for. And the reason why I don't have any of the other starters, we know TJ Edwards. We know Tremaine Edmonds. And we know Jaquan Brisker, Byard, Gordon, all them. So to me, that's why the defensive starters, I'm really more so bringing up the people that are kind of have still some stuff to prove and need to just demonstrate what they can or cannot do. So that's why defense, if the starters are out there, enjoy it. Just look out for some of the defensive linemen because that's still our biggest question mark on that defensive side of the football. So now, let's talk a little bit about these backups, because if we are going to be starting the backups, who should we be on the lookout for? And to me, the big one to keep an eye out for is Larry Borom, the left tackle, number 75, because the swing tackle operation is still up in the air about Jake Curhan and Larry Borom. And there's still, I know, some random rumors out there that it's like, what if Larry Borom gets traded? Because the $3 million cap hit. Larry Borom is someone that I want to see. I want to see him do a little bit better. I thought last game wasn't necessarily his best. But also number 79, Matt Pryor, who's going to be out there at right guard. Someone that I also am keeping an eye out for because I thought he was pretty good last game. And when Nate Davis has been, spotty at best from a reliability standpoint, you want to make sure your backups look good. So Matt Pryor, someone who I'm also looking out for when the backups are out there. And another backup, look for Velus Jones, because we know the running backs, right? Khalil Herbert, Roschon Johnson, they'll be fun to watch. When they're out there, they're enjoyable. But Velus Jones, where does he line up? I think he's just going to primarily be a running back. Does he look fluid back there? Does it look awkward? Look for things like that at the running back position. So I wanted to really kind of highlight those three primary backups, but let me know who you're looking out for at the backup position. Because someone else, Tyler Scott, I know I don't have him highlighted, but also yet again, what do the backup wide receivers look like? Do we have halfway decent backup wide receivers? What does Scott look like? Similar to Velus Jones. Does he look clumsy? Does he look like he's ready to play? Just keep an eye out for that. And then the defensive side of the football. It's a lot of the same people. I wanted to switch one of them up because obviously we're all watching number 94, Austin Booker. We all want to see what he can do because every time he's out there, he's dominating. Every time he's out there, he's impressive. So 94, just you can put it in ink, right? Every single week in preseason, look for number 94. He's going to be enjoyable. He's going to be fun. But I'm also, yet again, looking at number 96, Zach Pickens. He played, on second watch, he looked better than I thought initially, because I thought that he played better than the Hall of Fame game. So hopefully just kind of continue growing, continue that growth, because I haven't seen a big jump out of Pickens. But the other person that I have highlighted is Micah Baskerville, number 47. He's had a good preseason so far, and this linebacker position is really up in the air when you're talking about backups after Sanborn, because Sanborn is technically a starter with the 4-3 defensive, with the 4-3 linebacker situation. So Sanborn, if one of them goes down, who's your third linebacker? Noah Sewell has not been healthy at all. And we kind of forget about Noah Sewell, because when we hear it, we're like, oh yeah, he's good, but he hasn't done anything. He's not been available. So Micah Baskerville can continue to kind of prove how good he actually is, because amen, he had a better week last week, but still kind of up in the air. So Baskerville, number 47, is someone I'm keeping an eye out for. And why I'm not keeping an eye out for some of the defensive backs, Elijah Hicks was someone that I was going to throw out there, but I really just wanted to capture 3. Hicks, number 22, is one, or Jonathan Owens, 36, just because there's some of those backup battles that are going on from a safety perspective. But let's talk about the bottom end of the roster people, the people at the very tail end. Who should we be watching out for? And I grabbed 3 offense and 4 defense. So let's stay on the defensive side, where Paul Moala, he's not as flashy as your Carl Jones Jr. with the long dreads and kind of seems to be flying out there. But Paul Moala seems to be, number 43, he seems to just be doing his role properly and just playing solid. So that is someone that I'm just at least looking out for, because yet again, the linebacker position, one of these players is going to be on the practice squad, most likely. So who is going to be battling it? Who's going to get that between Javine White, Carl Jones, and Paul Moala? So something just to keep an eye out for when those backups are in. What linebackers look impressive to you? Because still, linebackers can be difficult to watch when you're actually watching the game, but just keep an eye out for the linebackers to see who kind of pops and who doesn't. Also, another position that's kind of hard to watch number 46, Reddy Stewart. We've had him on our watch list, and to be honest, he hasn't necessarily impressed all that much. And he was someone that a lot of people were saying, keep an eye out for. And same with me. But honestly, we haven't not seen too much out of him from that slot corner position. It seems like a long time ago, 2 weeks ago, where he was kind of taking the starting slot reps from Greg Stroman and Josh Blackwell. But now he's still on the bottom of that slot depth chart. My other 2. You already know Keith Randolph Jr., number 67, who, when I saw him in camp, his body does not look like a defensive tackle. Like we've said when we were previewing him, he's really that natural tweener. He's that in between where he's too big to be a defensive end, but too small to be a D tackle. So I want to see, what does he look like out there? How does he play? Because we really didn't see much of him last game. So look for number 67, Keith Randolph, in that second half of the game. And then last but not least, Khalid Kareem, number 52. I don't think he's been getting as much publicity as he should be, because I know Daniel Hardy had his 2.5 sacks last week. I said this after the game. Kareem looked better. And Kareem has been consistently better than, in my opinion, over a Daniel Hardy. So keep an eye out for number 52, Khalid Kareem, because he has been very good. He has been very consistent. And does that mean he's making the active roster? No, but this is kind of that battle for that practice squad spot. So that's why, to me, Kareem, I think he deserves the practice squad spot over Daniel Hardy, over some of these other defensive ends. But then flipping over to the offensive side, let's talk about these running backs, because Ian Wheeler, obviously number 33, someone that popped off last game. Just continue to watch him. How early does he go into the game? And hopefully they give him a bigger workload this week so that we can really see more about how good of a player he actually could potentially become. But then next, we have Bill Murray and Jerome Carvin. So 63, Jerome Carvin, and Bill Murray, number 60, on the offensive line. Similar to Matt Pryor, Bill Murray, to me, I want to see him at right guard. Yet again, the backups of Nate Davis, how do they all look on the interior of the line? But also Carvin, the reason why he's such a big person to watch out for is because they are starting him over Doug Kramer. They are starting him over a lot of these other interior offensive linemen, and he has versatility. Murray, not so much. Carvin has the center to guard versatility, and I think that's why he's so important, because we could see the Bears cut Doug Kramer and not put him on the practice squad. And maybe Carvin is the person they put on the practice squad, and then Bates is the backup that can play center and guard, or depending on how injuries and the roster shakes up, Carvin could even potentially be on the active roster because of that versatility. Not because of his play, but mainly because of, hey, you can play both center and guard. We have to keep you on this roster, because versatility is key when you're talking about a backup player. Because if you can play both positions, awesome. So to me, number 63 and number 60 on the offensive line are people to be watching out for. So what's next? A couple other things I just want to highlight, because I really wanted to keep this list a little shorter, because we've talked a lot about these players and people to watch out for. Other things to just keep in mind: the backup battle between Tyson Bagent and Brett Rippon. Who looks better from those perspectives? The one thing too is it's not like they have to say, this is our backup quarterback, right? They don't really have to state that. And do I think Bagent's going to be on the practice squad? No. I think if anything, you're going to see Brett Rippon be placed on the practice squad because he's a veteran. You kind of know who he is. And I think that they could do that whole Nathan Peterman thing where you just stay on the practice squad. Bagent is not on the practice squad because someone might want to pick him off. While Rippon, if he gets picked off, you go, okay, well, bring in another veteran. We'll bring in someone like that. But Brett Rippon was able to kind of serve his purpose and help out Caleb Williams as he got up. So something to at least just look out for is that backup competition. And obviously Austin Reed is fun to watch. But also, do any wide receivers actually show up? Because we keep seeing the tight ends. We keep seeing Brendan Bates. We keep seeing Tommy Sweeney. We keep seeing Stephen Carlson. But we don't see these wide receivers. So hopefully we can see a wide receiver actually do something and show some more depth at that position. But if you're still watching, and thank you for watching, make sure to like and subscribe out there on YouTube. Helps out the channel tremendously. Also, download the podcast everywhere you get your podcast, and make sure to rate 5 stars. And with that, hope you have a great week. Unbearable Sports Podcast, we are out.
Yeah, she's got some nice long hair, and you know that she's a